My beloved child, bring your heart closer to me for a few moments and allow my voice to find the deepest place in your soul. I know the weight you have been carrying in silence. I see the tiredness that no one notices, the tears that you wiped away before anyone could notice, and the questions that you never had the courage to say out loud. I know every thought that went through your mind when you looked at your reality and felt that everything remained the same. I know the pain that is not only in the circumstances, but in the erosion of hope after so much waiting. You think you are standing still, but I tell you that there has never been a single day when your life has stood still before my eyes. While you believed that nothing happened, I was working where your eyes cannot reach. As you stared at closed doors, I strengthened areas of your heart that needed to be restored before new doors were opened. As you counted the days of waiting, I told every detail of the transformation that was already taking place within you. At this very moment when you hear me, I am already healing memories that still bound your soul to the past. I'm already dispelling fears that for a long time tried to convince you that you weren't capable of experiencing something new. I'm already removing invisible weights that you carried without realizing it. There are roots being strengthened, seeds awakening under the earth, and a light beginning to break through the darkness that for so long seemed to have no end. There's a reason why you've come to this message today. Nothing happened by chance. I led his steps here because his soul needed to hear what his mind could no longer remember. And before this message ends, I will reveal something that your soul needs to remember. Something that will change the way you see the entire journey you have lived so far. You believe that you are only waiting for a new house, a change of address, or an answer to what you have been asking for. But I tell you that there is something much bigger going on. I'm not just preparing a place for you to live. I am preparing a new season for your life, a season where you will understand that each wait had a purpose and that none of your days were wasted. Perhaps you have looked back over the past few months and thought that my promises were far away. Perhaps you have only seen delays, losses, and interrupted paths. But what you have called delay, I have called preparation. That which you have called silence, I have transformed into a time of invisible construction. While you were looking for answers on the outside, I was building something precious within you. There is a truth that you have not yet fully understood. Before I put a new key in your hands, I needed to put a new identity within your heart. Because a house doesn't start with the walls. A home is not born from concrete. A true change begins when the soul learns who it really is before me. Remember Joseph. To human eyes, he was imprisoned in a cell, forgotten and distant from the dreams he received. But I saw what no one could see. Prison was never his destiny. The prison was the hidden corridor leading to the palace. What seemed like abandonment was training. What seemed like defeat was the secret path of promise. So it is with you. Don't interpret this phase only by what your eyes can see. There is an invisible construct going on at this time. While you wait for the key to a new house, I am already placing in your hands the key to a new understanding of who you are. My word declares, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it will come forth into the light. Do you not perceive it?" Isaiah 43:19. I'm already doing this new thing, even before you can touch it. Prepare your soul, because the change that is before you will not only be external. I am already forming an environment where your faith will be strengthened, your hope will be renewed, and your story will find new meaning. You will find that you have never been forgotten, not even for a single instant. The house that I prepare begins first within you. And when the inside is completely aligned with my purpose, the outside will naturally follow all that I have already determined from the beginning. My beloved child, remain with me for a few more moments, because I still have revelations to deliver to your heart. I'm going to show you why some doors had to wait, why some paths seemed difficult, and what I was already building in the unseen while you thought nothing was happening. I will reveal the meaning of your waiting and show that each step had a purpose. If this word has found your heart, declare your faith. Write Amen as an expression of confidence in what I am already doing in your life. Also, allow this message to reach more people who need to hear my voice, liking and subscribing to continue receiving words of hope. Don't go now. In the last few minutes of this message, I have something special to reveal to you, something your soul needs to keep. My son, you often look at where you are and believe that this scenario has the final say on your life. You look at what is missing, at what has not yet arrived, at what seems small in the face of the dreams I have placed inside you. But I tell you, the place where you are today does not define the place where I am leading your story. You think that your circumstances are greater than my promises, but I tell you that no human limitation can stand in the way of what I have ordained. I was not hindered by the pit where Joseph was thrown. I was not hindered by the wilderness where Moses walked. I was not hindered by the simplicity of the city where Jesus grew up. I never needed a perfect setting to make a perfect work. Maybe you're looking at your current home and thinking that it represents the size of your life. Maybe you're seeing old walls, limited resources, and situations that don't seem to change. But I see something which your eyes still cannot perceive. I see seeds hidden beneath the earth. I see roots growing in silence. I see a promise being strengthened before it appears before you. You think you're living a small chapter, but I tell you, small chapters are also part of big stories. You think you're in an unimportant place, but I tell you, it's in the secret that many of my greatest purposes began. My word declares, for we walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. I am teaching your soul to see beyond appearance. Because if you look only at what is in front of your eyes, you can believe that nothing is happening, just when the invisible has already begun to move. You think that the new house begins when the key comes into your hands, but I tell you, it begins when your mind understands that you are not defined by where you are. Before changing the environment around you, I am restoring the way you see yourself. Before placing something new in your hands, I'm preparing your heart to recognize the value of what you will receive. I'm already touching areas within you that have been wounded by years of waiting. I'm already removing thoughts that said you'd never experience anything different. I am already strengthening your consciousness so that you do not enter a new phase, carrying the mindset of the old one. You think some closed doors were losses, but I tell you some closed doors were protection. You think some delays hindered your walk, but I tell you, some delays were preserving your preparation. You think you were standing still, but I was working behind the scenes. Don't despise the place where you are now. Even this seemingly limited environment may be being used by me to strengthen their faith, mature their hope, and deepen their roots. The seed does not complain about the time underground because it knows that there is a right time to break through the surface and reveal the life it carried hidden. I am forming in you someone capable of receiving what I am preparing. Your steps are not lost. My word says, the Lord establishes the steps of a good man and delighteth in his way. Psalm 37:23. Even when you don't see the full way, I keep guiding every detail. My son, if this word has touched your heart, write Amen in the comments, because this act of faith I hear. My son, you asked for a change around you, but I started a transformation within you. You have asked for a new house, but first I have begun preparing a new consciousness. You asked for a different place to live, but I began by forming a new person to inhabit that place with wisdom, gratitude, and purpose. You think that the greatest change will be that which your eyes will be able to contemplate, but I tell you, the greatest change is that which I am already doing in the silence of your soul. Because a new phase cannot be sustained by a mind stuck in the past. A new door needs to find a heart prepared to walk through it. There is a reason why some promises go through processes before they are revealed. It's not because I have forgotten you. It is not because I have left your prayer unanswered. It is because I know the weight of what I am preparing. I know what your hands will need to carry, and so I strengthen you before I put anything new into them. You think you have wasted time waiting, but I tell you, I was preparing the ground. You think that the hard days have delayed your life, but I tell you, I was building a stronger structure within you. Each tear watered a part of his faith. Each battle revealed a force you didn't know yet. Look at David. Before receiving a crown, he tended sheep in the field. Before men recognized their calling, I was already working in their hearts. The hidden place seemed small, but here I was making a king. The camp was not a prison, it was a school.
Anonymity was not rejection, it was preparation. Maybe today you are in a field that seems too simple. Maybe no one sees your internal struggles, your prayers made in silence, and the moments when you needed to find the strength to keep going.
But I see everything. I know every night you've taken a deep breath and decided not to give up. My word says, "He that began a good work in you shall bring it to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." Philippians 1:6. I do not abandon that which my hands have begun. I don't build a story to make it incomplete. I don't plant a seed with no intention of seeing it bloom. You think I'm just preparing a new house. But I tell you, I'm preparing a new way of living. I'm touching your emotions, renewing your thoughts, and strengthening your identity. I'm removing old fears that said you weren't capable.
I am breaking beliefs that made you believe that you needed to accept less than what I prepared. You are not defined by what you have lost. You are not defined by the doors that have closed. You are not defined by the words that tried to diminish you. You are defined by that which I am forming within your heart. Keep allowing me to work on you. The root grows before the fruit appears. The light begins to emerge before the whole day is revealed. Each learning, each waiting, and each challenge is forming a firmer structure within your soul. When the door opens, you will not be the same person who started this journey. And this is one of the greatest blessings that I am preparing, not only to deliver something new to you, but to reveal the new person that I am already building. My son, write, "Lord, I believe." And by liking this video, you take this word to another child who also needs to hear that he is not alone. My son,
there were times when you looked up at the sky and asked where I was. There were days when you spoke to me in prayer, but the answer didn't come in the time you expected. There were nights when you went to bed with a tired heart, trying to understand why so many things remained the same. But I tell you, the silence you felt was never proof that I was far away. Silence was the place where many things began to be built. You think that when you don't see movement, nothing is happening, but I tell you there are movements that happen first in the invisible. Before a tree appears above the ground, its roots are already growing deeply. Before the morning reveals the sun, the light has already begun to overcome the darkness, so I am also working on your life. You look at the waiting time and see only absence.
I look at that same period and see preparation. You look at a closed door and think you've missed an opportunity. I see a protection that prevented you from entering a place that would not support what I am forming. You think you have wasted time, but I tell you, I was preparing the ground. You think you were standing still, but I tell you, I was strengthening your roots. You think your prayer was unanswered, but I tell you, I was already moving details that you could not yet perceive. Often, you want a quick answer, because your vision reaches only the present. But I see the beginning, the middle, and the end. I know the weight of what I am preparing, and I know the structure that needs to exist within you to receive this new phase. My word declares, there is a time for every purpose under heaven, and there is a time for every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. I'm not late.
I am not confused with the moments of your story. I don't forget a promise I made about your life. What seems to take time for you is often taken care of by my hands. Look at Joseph again. Before he could put on the clothes of authority, he had to cross places where he seemed forgotten, but each step was forming something in him. Prison did not destroy Joseph.
The arrest revealed a strength he did not yet know he possessed. So it is with you. Difficult phases do not define the end of your story. They reveal parts of your soul that I am strengthening. I'm using every experience to build maturity, confidence, and a faith that doesn't just depend on what the eye can see. The new house that I prepare for you will be more than an achievement. It will be a living reminder that my hand was present in the days when you did not notice. Every detail will bear a mark of my faithfulness. And when you look back, you will understand that the silence was not empty. It was the sound of my invisible construction happening in and around you. My son, if you believe that I am working even when you do not see, right, I trust in God's timing. My son, before I put you in a new environment, I am touching areas of your soul that have carried marks for a long time. There are wounds that you have learned to hide from others, but that have never been hidden from me. I know the words that entered your heart and made you doubt your worth. I know the times when you felt small, forgotten, or unable to live something different. I know that silent comparison you made when you looked at other people's lives and asked why their path seemed easier. I know the thoughts that came up when you saw achievements around you and began to believe that maybe you were left behind. But I tell you, you have not been left behind. I was working on you. You think that the marks of the old season are signs of defeat, but I tell you, they are places where my restoration has already begun. I don't ignore your pains. I don't despise your scars. I enter exactly those places where you thought there would never be healing again and start a new construction. A new house cannot be sustained by a soul stuck in old fears. So while you are waiting for a change around, I am already making a change within. I am removing thoughts that have limited your steps. I'm touching memories that still made you walk in fear. I am bringing light to places that have remained hidden for a long time. You think you just need a new door, but I tell you, before the new door, I am preparing new eyes to see the opportunities that will come. You think you just need a new place to live, but I tell you, I am preparing a new consciousness to recognize that you are worthy of living what I am forming. My word says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. I'm not just changing external circumstances. I'm restoring the way you see yourself, because for too long you have allowed losses to define your identity. It has allowed rejections to speak louder than my voice. It allowed difficult moments to determine the size of his hope. But I tell you, your story is not written by the chapters of pain you have gone through. Your story is driven by my hands. Look at a tree after a storm. Some branches may look injured, some leaves may have fallen off, but their roots remain alive. And when the season changes, new fruits begin to appear. So, I'm doing with you. I'm strengthening your roots. I'm renewing your strength. I am preparing your heart to enter a phase where you will no longer carry the weight of the old version of yourself. The new house that I prepare represents freedom. It represents a new beginning. It represents leaving behind the voice that said, you could never make it, and hearing my voice telling you that I am still writing your story. Do not go now, my child. What follows has been kept especially for you, and it may be what will change what you believe about your future. My son, you often look at a closed door and believe that you must first see the key in your hands before you believe that it will be opened. You look for visible signs, external confirmations, and evidence all around you. But I tell you, before a door opens before your eyes, it needs to be opened within your heart. The key that unlocks a new phase of your life begins in faith. You think that faith is believing only when everything is resolved, but I tell you, faith is trusting while there is still mystery. It is to stand firm when your eyes cannot yet see the full path. It is holding on to the promise, even when the scenario seems to say otherwise. I'm not asking you to ignore your difficulties. I'm teaching you to see beyond them. You think that the reality that is before you is the limit of your story, but I tell you, what you see is only a part of what I am doing. There is an unseen reality happening around you. There are paths being prepared, circumstances being aligned, and seeds being strengthened under the earth. The seed does not give up because it is hidden. She doesn't believe she died just because she hasn't appeared on the surface yet. She remains being fed in silence until the time comes to break through the earth and reveal what she carried inside her. So is your faith. I'm already strengthening your confidence in the moments when you thought you were weak. I'm already teaching your soul to depend less on circumstances and more on my presence. I am already forming within you a certainty that does not depend only on what your eyes can reach. Look at Abraham. He left without knowing all the details of the path. He didn't have all the answers, but he had a promise. He walked trusting in me before he saw what had been prepared. My word says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1.
You think you need to know all the details before you take a step, but I tell you, many times I reveal the way as you walk with me. I don't show you all the pages at once because I want to teach your heart to trust the author of the story.
If you knew every detail, perhaps you would put your safety in the way and not in me. The new house that I prepare is not just a change of address. It represents a new understanding that I am able to care for you at every step. The key that you expect to receive in your hands also symbolizes the faith that I am already awakening within you. I am strengthening your hope. I'm renewing your vision. I am showing that what seems impossible to you has never been impossible to me. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep looking beyond appearance, because I'm already working before the door is revealed. State in the comments, "I get that word," and by leaving your like, you help to take this message to another heart. My son, some things had to leave your life because I was preparing space for what I was already forming. You looked at some losses and thought you were becoming empty, but I tell you, sometimes I withdraw that which takes up too much space for the new to find a place within you. You called it a loss, I called it preparation. You called it the end, I called it transition. You thought that a closed door meant that your story was diminishing, but I tell you, some doors were closed because I was protecting the way I prepared for you. I know some goodbyes hurt.
I know that some changes have brought tears to your eyes. I know there have been times when you've held questions inside your heart and tried to understand why something that seemed so important had to end. But I tell you, not everything that comes out of your hands represents defeat. Sometimes that which you hold tightly prevents you from receiving that which I am putting before your life. Look at a tree while pruning. In the eyes of those who do not understand, it seems that something is being lost. Branches are cut off, parts are removed, and the appearance changes. But I know that pruning is not destruction. Pruning prepares the tree to produce stronger fruit. So also I'm working in you. You think you have lost parts of your history, but I tell you, I am preparing new chapters. You think you have missed opportunities, but I tell you, I am protecting your purpose. You think that something has ended without explanation, but I tell you, there is a continuation that your eyes still cannot see. Joseph lost his freedom before he found his purpose. To human eyes, that moment seemed like a great injustice, but I was using every detail to lead him to the place where his mission would be revealed. Moses lost a foothold in Egypt before he found his true mission. The wilderness seemed like a remoteness, but it was the place where I was forming the man who would guide a people. You think that the desert is abandonment, but I tell you, many times the desert is a workshop where I prepare your soul. My word declares, we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. I didn't say that all things would be easy. I said that all things could be transformed by my hands. I take tears and turn them into strength. I take wounds and turn them into testimonies. I take broken paths and turn them in new directions. The new house that I prepare for you also carries this message. It will be a reminder that what seemed like a loss was not the end. It was a quiet preparation for something bigger. I continue to write his story. Even the pages that you have not understood are part of what I am building. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you become an instrument in my hands, helping this word reach those who need to hear the most, who have not been forgotten. My son, do not look at the new house only as a place of comfort for your body. I want you to see beyond the walls, beyond the doors, and beyond what your eyes can touch. I want to reveal to your heart that there are hidden purposes in the places I prepare. You think a home is just a space where you rest, but I tell you, a home can become a place where stories are restored, where tears are turned into joy, and where my presence finds space to touch lives. I don't prepare places just for looks. I prepare environments with purpose. You think you are only waiting for a change of address, but I tell you, I am preparing a scenario where new chapters of your story will be written. There are moments of healing that will happen within that environment. There are conversations that will bring reconciliation. There are prayers that will be born within these walls. There are memories that will be built where before there was only concern.
A house is not only made of bricks. A true home is built with love, forgiveness, peace, and presence. You think the value of a place is in the size, but I tell you the true value is in what I pour into it. A small house, filled with my presence, can carry more wealth than a large empty place on purpose. I see what you don't see yet.
I see shared meals, hugs that will be restored, moments of gratitude, and days when you will look around and recognize that my hand was present in every detail. My word says, unless the Lord builds the house, in vain do those who build it labor. Psalm 127:1. The real construction starts with me. Before a foundation is laid in the ground, I am already working on the foundation of your heart. Before you enter a new environment, I am already preparing your soul to live that wisely. You think that the new house will be the answer to all your pains, but I tell you, the greatest answer is the transformation that I am already carrying out within you. Because a new place without a new vision can just become a different scenario with the same old wounds. So I am healing the inside first. I'm teaching you to value what once seemed small. I am showing that true abundance does not begin with what you have, but with what you carry within you. I'm already preparing a new way of seeing your family, your history, and your own journey. The house that I prepare will be a testimony that I have been present in the days of waiting. It will be a reminder that no tears have been ignored and no prayer has been forgotten. You will see that the place that I prepare will not only be to live, but to live that which I am forming. Because when I build a house, I don't just build walls. I build destinies, restorations, and new beginnings. There is someone in your heart now. Write that person's name in the comments. I hear every name you declare. My son, the time will come when you will look back and understand what seems confusing today. There will come a day when you will realize that no tears have been shed without purpose, that no waiting has been wasted, and that no difficult path has happened without me being present. You think some phases were just delays, but I tell you, many of them were preparations. You think you were wasting time, but I tell you I was preparing the ground. While you waited for change on the outside, I was strengthening that which needed to be born within you. Each wait had a reason. Each tear carried a lesson. Each closed door was protecting you from paths that would not sustain what I was forming. You couldn't understand at the time why your eyes were stuck on the present, but I already saw the future. I saw what you couldn't yet see. I knew the details that were hidden from his understanding. Just as a seed doesn't understand why it needs to stay underground before it blooms, you often don't understand the process that happen in silence. But I know the right time for every growth. I know when its roots are strong enough to sustain the fruits to come. You think silence meant abandonment, but I tell you silence was the place where I was working. You think the closed door was a denial, but I tell you many closed doors were deliverances that you will only understand when you look back. Remember Joseph. There was a time when he looked at his reality and found no meaning. He carried dreams, but he was surrounded by circumstances that seemed to contradict what I had placed within him. But I never abandoned Joseph. The prison did not cancel the promise. The waiting time did not defeat the purpose. The hard road didn't mean that I had changed my mind. I was using each step to prepare for the moment when what I put into it would be revealed. So it is with you. You think I have forgotten your story because you have not yet seen the full answer. But I tell you, I have never lost a single page of what I am writing. My word says, "For I know the thoughts I think of you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you the end you hope for." Jeremiah 29:11. I know thoughts of peace about you. I know ways of restoration. I know the place where your story will find a new phase. The new house that I prepare will not only be a visible change, it will be a reminder that I was present when you did not realize. It will be proof that the wait was not empty and that the process was not in vain. When that moment comes, you'll understand why some things needed to happen the way they did. You will see that some losses have made room for new beginnings. You will find that some pains have strengthened your faith. Do not stop now, my child. What comes in the next few minutes may be the answer you've been seeking for so long, and I've saved it for this very moment. My son, I know that many times you look at your life and think that the greatest need is a change around you.
You believe that when the environment changes, when the door opens, when the house arrives, then you will finally feel complete rest. But I tell you, before I change the scenery, I am transforming your vision. Because a new blessing needs to find a heart prepared to receive it. A new place needs to find a renewed person to live in. A new phase needs to find a soul that has learned to walk with confidence, not just expectations. You think you are waiting for a home, but I tell you, I am building a place within you. There is a construction happening in silence. There are areas of your life that I am strengthening without you realizing it. Just as the roots of a tree grow hidden before its branches reach the sky, I am deepening that which will sustain its coming season. You look at the surface and think that nothing has changed. But I see what is happening in the unseen. I see your faith growing in the days when you chose to continue, even without answers. I see your patience being formed in the moments when you had to wait. I see your confidence being strengthened when everything around you told you to give up. You think you are just going through difficulties, but I tell you, I am building resistance within your soul. A tree with deep roots does not fear any wind. It stands firm because there is a hidden force sustaining its existence. So I'm doing with you. I don't want to just hand something into your hands and watch you lose your peace when a storm hits. I am forming within you a firmness that does not depend on circumstances. You think, I need everything to change in order to rest. But I tell you, I am teaching your soul to find rest before everything around you is even settled. Because true peace is not born when all questions are answered. True peace is born when your heart understands that I continue to take care of every detail. I know the parts of you that no one else knows. I know the fears you never told. I know the insecurities that arise when you compare your walk to other people's. I know the memories that still try to convince you that the past will be repeated. But I am already touching these places. I am already bringing light to areas that have remained hidden. I am already restoring thoughts that have been wounded by time. I am already showing that your identity is not tied to what has happened, but is grounded in what I am building. My word says, you also as living stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood. 1 Peter 2:5. I am forming a spiritual home within you. Before the physical door opens, I prepare the inner environment where my presence will find space to act with depth. Do not despise the invisible process, my son. The root grows before the fruit appears. The seed remains hidden before revealing its beauty. Dawn begins before the sun is seen on the horizon. What you can't see doesn't mean you're standing still. I'm already working. My son, I know that the time of waiting can touch deep places of your soul. I know there are days when you look at the calendar, watch the years go by, and start to wonder if what I've put in your heart will still happen. You look at other people's walks and wonder why their path seems to move forward, while yours seems to stay in the same place. But I tell you, time is not stealing that which I have prepared for you. Time is maturing what needs to be born. You think that delay means forgetfulness, but I tell you, often delay is a protection of my hands. There are things that, if they came too early, could hurt you instead of strengthening. There are blessings that need to find a person prepared to carry them. So while you wait for the outer change, I am working on the inner structure. A fruit removed from the tree ahead of time may even look ready on the outside, but it still doesn't have the full flavor. He needs to remain connected to the root, receiving what he needs to reach his maturity. So it is with that which I am forming in your life. You think you are waiting too long, but I tell you, I am allowing the process to complete the work I have begun. You think you missed opportunities, but I tell you, I was preserving paths. You think you are left behind, but I tell you, I was strengthening your roots so that when the right season came, you would stand firm. Look at Joseph. I placed dreams within him. But before I took him to the place of promise, I allowed him to cross places where everything seemed contrary to what I had revealed. Prison seemed like the end, but I saw the beginning. The rejection felt like abandonment, but I was preparing recognition. The suffering felt like an interruption, But I was building character. I was not late in Joseph's life. I was preparing Joseph for what he could not yet comprehend. And I am also working on you. I listened to every prayer offered in silence.
I know every request you have submitted before me. I know the words you spoke and also those that remained only within your heart. My word declares, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he bowed down to me and heard my cry. Psalm 41. I hear you. I see you. I know the right time. You think that nothing has changed because you have not yet seen the manifestation. But I tell you, the most profound changes begin first in the invisible. Before a tree appears strong above the ground, its roots are already growing. Before dawn reveals its light, the sky already begins to change silently. Don't confuse silence with absence. Don't confuse waiting with abandonment. Don't confuse preparation with delay. I'm already working on the details that your eyes can't see yet. I'm already aligning what needs to be aligned. I am already strengthening what needs to remain. Keep trusting me, because the process you don't understand today will reveal a wisdom that you will be thankful for tomorrow. That word didn't come to you by chance. Write in the comments, I trust God, and let that be your act of faith for me today. My son, there are times when your walk seems confusing. You look back and try to understand why some paths have changed, why some doors have not opened, and why certain situations have taken a different direction than you imagine. You think, I've lost control of my story. But I tell you, when you put your story in my hands, I take on that which your eyes cannot organize. You see only part of the way. You see the road before your feet, but I see the complete destination. You see a curve and you think you have lost direction, but I see that curve is taking you to a place you don't know yet. Not every deviation is a mistake. Not every change of route is a loss. Not every closed door is a rejection. Sometimes what you call interruption is my protection acting in silence. You think that a closed door prevented your victory, but I tell you, some doors were closed because I was guarding you from places that would not support the person I am forming. You think you missed an opportunity, but I tell you, I have preserved your purpose. You think you have run out of direction, but I tell you, I was adjusting your steps. Look at a tree being pruned. For those who only observe the moment of the cut, it seems like a loss. It seems that something is being destroyed. It looks like that tree will get smaller, but I know the process. Pruning is not the end of the tree. Pruning prepares new fruits. It removes that which consumes strength and allows life to be directed towards what really matters. So also I'm working in you. I am removing old thoughts that limited your vision. I am removing fears that have hindered your steps. I am pushing away paths that seemed good in your eyes, but that did not carry the purpose that I placed on your life. My word says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:6. I'm straightening your paths. Even when you don't understand the movement, I go on leading. Even when you don't notice changes, I keep working. Even when it seems like nothing is happening, there are details being lined up in the unseen. You think you're walking alone, but I tell you, my presence accompanies your every step. That waiting you didn't understand strengthened your faith. That door that didn't open protected his heart. That different path revealed parts of you that needed to awaken. I allowed some changes because I knew you needed to grow beyond what you knew. I allowed some uncertainties because they were teaching their soul to trust me more than circumstances. You're not lost. You are being led. The story that you think is disorganized is being carefully guided by my hands. I didn't lose track of any detail. I know the path that lies before you, and I continue to prepare every step. My son, if you are here, it is because I have allowed it. I have something to reveal to you later today. Don't leave before you've heard what's next. My son, perhaps you looked back at the days of silence and thought that I had drifted away. Perhaps you have raised your prayers, and because you did not receive an immediate answer, you have imagined that your words have not reached me. But I tell you, silence does not mean absence. I remain present even when you don't feel it. I keep acting even when you don't realize it. I continue to care, even when your eyes find no sign of my working. You think that if I were working, everything would already be visible. But I tell you, many of my greatest works begin where your eyes cannot reach. There is a seed that grows underground before it appears above the surface. There is a root that strengthens in the dark before it supports a tree full of fruit.
There is a dawn being prepared while night still seems to dominate the sky. So it is with your life. You see the silence, but I see the growth. You see the waiting, but I see the preparation. You see the emptiness, but I see a construction going on. I work in places where you can't get in. I move details that you can't keep track of.
I prepare paths that you don't even know exist yet. While you rest, I continue to take care. As long as you do not find an answer, I continue to form that which needs to be born. As long as you think you are alone, I continue to sustain every part of your walk. You think you need to see everything in order to trust me, but I tell you, true faith is born when your heart learns to rest before it sees the manifestation. If you saw all the details, perhaps you would try to control what I am conducting. If you knew all the ways, you might trust the direction more than the one who is leading you. Therefore, some answers remain hidden for a while. Not because I want to confuse you, but because I am strengthening your confidence. My word declares, the secret of the Lord is to them that fear him, and he will make known to them his covenant. Psalm 25:14. I reveal at the right time what your soul needs to understand. I don't hide it for lack of love. I prepare it out of care. You think you have to pluck the seed out of the earth to find out if it is growing. But I tell you, if you stop the process, you can stop the fruit that is being formed. Do not try to hasten that which I am ripening. The tree does not care about the time it takes for its roots to grow.
She continues to receive what she needs until the time comes to reveal her strength. So I'm doing with you. I'm already strengthening areas that seemed fragile. I'm already healing parts that you believed would remain broken. I am already preparing your soul to recognize the blessing when it comes. The invisible is also real. What you don't see may still be closer than what your eyes can perceive. My hand continues on your story. I've been good at your life in ways you haven't even noticed. Write in the comments, "Amen," and proclaim with me my kindness to you. My son, you often believe that a new home, a new condition, or a move around you will be enough to erase all the pain that was left behind. You imagine that when the door opens, when the environment changes, and when the promise is revealed, then finally all worries will disappear. But I tell you, true transformation begins before the external change. It starts in the place where no one can touch, inside your mind and inside your soul. You think you need a new life, but I tell you, I am already renewing the way you see life, because a person can enter a new place, carrying old thoughts. You can receive a new blessing that is still stuck in old fears. You can achieve what you have waited for so long and continue living as someone who still believes you don't deserve it. Therefore, before I deliver something new into your hands, I am restoring the way you see yourself. You think you are defined by the losses you have faced, but I tell you, your losses have no authority to determine your identity. You think it is what they have said about you, but I tell you, my voice is greater than any word that has tried to diminish your value. You think, I am what happened to me, but I tell you, you are what I am forming in you. I know the thoughts that were born after disappointments. I know the doubts that appeared after the closed doors. I know the moments when you began to believe that maybe your story could no longer change. But I am already touching these places. I am bringing light to thoughts that have remained hidden. I am showing you that some beliefs that you have carried for years were not born of me. I am removing limitations that have been built up by pain and replacing it with a vision based on my purpose. My word says, "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 12:2. I'm renewing your vision. I'm teaching you to see possibilities where before you only saw impossibilities. I'm showing you paths where before you only saw walls. I'm revealing seeds where you could only see dry land. You think that your future will be a repetition of your past, but I tell you, I am not bound by what has happened before. I am able to give birth to something new even in places that seemed forgotten.
Look at a land after a long, dry season. To human eyes, it appears lifeless. It seems that nothing can grow there again.
But a small seed can still carry within it a large forest. So is your life. I have placed within you seeds of hope, purpose, and faith that no circumstance has been able to destroy. The new house that I prepare for you will not just be a different place to live. It will be a reflection of a renewed mind and a soul that has learned to trust. I'm already changing your perception. I'm already strengthening your conscience.
I'm already preparing you to look at the new without carrying the weight of the old. This message is not for everyone, my son. If you are here, it is because I have chosen you to hear what comes next. Are you ready? My son, you call this period the waiting period, but I call it growth. You look back at the days that look the same and think that nothing is changing, but I tell you, there is a silent work going on within you. You see an empty field. I see roots forming. You see an absence of movement. I see preparation. You look at the surface and believe that everything remains still, but I observe what is happening in the depths, because before a tree touches the sky, it must learn to stand firm on earth. Before it can bear fruit, it needs to strengthen its roots. So it is with your life. You think that the waiting time is delaying your story, but I tell you, this time is strengthening that which will sustain the next phase. I'm not just preparing a blessing for you. I am preparing you for the blessing, because what arrives without roots can be easily lost. But what is built with depth remains even when the winds arrive. I know the weight of what I'm training. I know that there are promises that need to find a strengthened soul, a renewed mind, and a prepared heart. You think you are standing still, but I tell you there is growth going on in you. Even when no one realizes, I am working. Even when you don't get recognition, I am strengthening. Even when it seems that nothing changes around you, I am creating stability within you. Look at a seed. When it is placed on the ground, no one applauds its growth. No one sees its first roots emerging. No one notices the strength that is being built in the hidden place. But I see. I follow every move. I know every root that is forming. And when the right time comes, what was hidden begins to appear. My word declares, it shall be as a tree, planted by rivers of water, yielding its fruit in its season. Its leaves will not fall, and everything he does will prosper. Psalm 1:3. I know your time. I know your station. I know when you need to grow in silence, and when the time will come to reveal that which I have built. You think you need immediate results to be sure that I am acting. But I tell you, some of the greatest works begin without any visible sign. The root grows before the fruit. The preparation takes place before the conquest. Dawn begins before first light is seen. Don't despise the process that is strengthening you. Don't despise simple days. Do not despise the small changes within your soul. Each time you choose to trust, a root goes deeper. Each time you choose to continue, a structure is strengthened. Each time you surrender your worries to me, you allow me to build something firmer within you. I'm not forgetting the house I prepared. I'm not ignoring your dreams. I am guaranteeing that when that which I have prepared arrives, you will find in you someone capable of living this new season with wisdom and gratitude. Because before I raise walls around you, I am building foundations within you, my son. Sometimes you look back and feel the weight of the years that have passed. You remember the opportunities that didn't happen, the dreams that were left waiting, and the paths that seemed to have been interrupted. You look back on the time that has passed and think that you have missed moments that will never come back. But I tell you, I am not limited by your past. That which you call lost time, I see as part of the formation of your story. That which you call delay, I see as a preparation which has strengthened your soul. You think some years have been wasted, but I tell you, I was working in places where your eyes couldn't get in. I was using experiences to mature his heart. I was allowing certain situations to reveal strengths that you didn't know yet. I was turning wounds into wisdom and tears into seeds of compassion. I don't see your story as a waste. I see a construction. You look back at old chapters and remember only the pains, but I see all that has been formed within you as you have gone through these moments. You think you have wasted time waiting, but I tell you, I was preparing the ground. You think you have been left behind, but I tell you,
I was working at a depth that you could not perceive. There's a difference between that which seems lost in your eyes and that which is being restored by my hands. Look at a garden after a long dry season. To those who observe quickly, it seems that the land has lost its life.
it seems that nothing else can be born in that place. But I know the hidden strength of a seed. I know that even under the earth, there is a promise, waiting for the right moment to arise. So is your life. There are parts of your story that seem dry, but I am still bringing life. There are dreams that seem far away, but I still know the purpose I have put into them. My word says, "And I will restore the years that were consumed by the locust, the aphid, and the caterpillar." Joel 2:25. I am the one who restores times. I am the one who turns deserts into gardens. I am the one who takes what seemed meaningless and reveals a hidden purpose. You think that your age, your choices, or your past define how far you can go. But I tell you, your story is in my hands. I'm not stuck with what happened before. I am working with what you have today to reveal that which can still be born. Each tear has taught your soul something. Each battle revealed a part of his strength. Each weight produced a deeper root. The new house that I prepare for you also represents a restoration. It represents a reminder that I can turn difficult times into testimonies of hope. When you enter a new station, you will understand that nothing has been wasted. Even the paths that seemed broken were used to lead you here. I continue to write his story, and the pages that still seem empty are already before me, waiting for the right moment to reveal that which I have prepared. There are so many other children of mine who need to hear this now. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you become part of the chain that I use to bring my word to those who are on edge. My son, you look at some closed doors and feel the pain of not understanding why they did not open. You waited for an answer. You waited for an opportunity. You waited for a different path. But you found silence in the face of what you wanted. But I tell you, a closed door has never been greater than my purpose for your life. You think that door was the only possibility, but I tell you, there are paths that your eyes have not yet found. You see only that which is before you, but I know hidden paths. Paths that were prepared before you even realized that you needed them. You think you are facing a barrier, but I tell you many times you are facing a preparation. Not every block is a defeat. Not every interruption is an abandonment. Not every no means your story is over. Sometimes a door closes because I am protecting you from entering a place which would not support the person you are becoming. You look at a closed door and feel sadness, but I see a protection. You look at a weight and feel frustration, but I see an alignment. You look at a path that has not happened and you think you have missed an opportunity, but I see a different direction being prepared. My word says, "Behold, I have set an open door before thee, and no one can shut it." Revelation 3:8. When I open a door, no human force can stop it. No circumstance can cancel that which is within my plans. But understand something, my child. Sometimes the door I open is not the one you imagine. Sometimes the path I prepare is different from the one you have drawn in your mind. Because you know your desires, but I know your needs. You know what you want to achieve, but I know what needs to be built within you before you can get there. Look at a seed. When she is put on the ground, it seems that she has lost her freedom. It seems that it was hidden. It seems that it has disappeared. But I know what is happening beneath the surface. The seed is not lost, it is taking root. This is also the case when a door seems closed. I may be using this moment to strengthen your faith, mature your vision, and prepare an entrance that will be greater than what you imagined. I continue to work. Even when you don't see movement, I'm lining up details. Even when you don't understand the way, I am leading your steps. Even when you think you have come to an end, I may be preparing a new beginning. Don't allow a closed door to make you believe that your story has lost direction.
What you call the end I may be using as a passage to something that has not yet been revealed. I am taking care of the paths that you know and also those that you do not even know exist yet. My son, you often look at your story and believe that it is too small to carry something great.
You observe other people's achievements, compare paths, compare results, and begin to forget all that I have already placed within you. You look at what has not yet happened and fail to perceive that which I have already built. But I tell you, your story has never been small in my eyes. You think you need big signs to prove that your life has value. But I tell you, big trees start out as small seeds. Before one admires the fruits, there is a time when the seed remains hidden, being strengthened in silence. I don't despise small beginnings. I don't despise simple days. I don't despise the steps that seem small. My word declares, "Who despiseth the day of small things?" Zechariah 4:10. You think that what is in your hands is little, but I tell you, I know the hidden potential within that which seems insignificant. A small seed carries a large tree. A small prayer can carry a great transformation. A small step of faith can start a new phase of your story. I see what has not yet appeared. I see the root before the fruit. I see the construction before the house is ready. I see the purpose before the manifestation. You think your story is defined by where you began, but I tell you, one's beginning never determines the ending I prepare. David began by tending sheep, away from the eyes of many. To human eyes, that field seemed too ordinary. But I was forming in him courage, sensitivity, and leadership. The field seemed small, but it carried a large training. So it is with you. Perhaps the place where you are today seems simple. Perhaps your current reality does not reflect all the dreams I have placed in your heart. Perhaps you look at your home, its resources, and its circumstances, and think that there is not much to build. But I tell you, I don't need much to start something big. I create paths where there are no paths. I give birth to hope in places where many only see limitations. You think you must first receive something great to believe in.
But I tell you, many times I start with what you already have and transform it into something you never imagined. I am revealing a new insight into your own history. Stop measuring your life only by what it lacks. Begin to see that which I have already placed within you. There is strength that was born from the battles you won. There is wisdom that was born from the tears you shed. There is maturity that was born from the processes you faced. Nothing was wasted. Each step has helped shape who you are becoming. I see potential where you see limitation. I see future where you see only present. I see a new station coming up where you still see only the old ground. And as I prepare new environments around you, I am also revealing the hidden greatness in your own walk. If this video is providing answers you need to hear, write in the comments, "God cares for me," and prophesy this truth about your own life. My son, the night may seem long,
But it can never stop the dawn from rising, even when your eyes see only darkness. I continue to work in silence, preparing for the arrival of a new light. You think you're living only hard days, but I tell you, you are going through a transition. You think that everything remains the same because you have not yet seen the complete change. But I tell you, there are movements happening before what your eyes can perceive. Dawn does not appear suddenly. Before the sun reveals its strength on the horizon, there is a silent change in the sky. The darkness begins to lose space. The first marks of light appear, even before everyone notices. So it is with your life. You think that nothing is happening because you have not yet held the answer in your hands. But I tell you, I am already preparing the environment for what is coming. I'm already working on details you don't know. I'm already lining up paths that you haven't found yet. I am already strengthening your heart for a new season. You look at the night and think that it will never end, but I tell you, no night has the power to stop the day that I have determined. The night can hide the stars, but it cannot blot out the sky. Silence can hide the process, but it cannot hinder my acting. You think that waiting is consuming your strength, but I tell you, I am using this time to renew that which seemed weakened within you. I am restoring your hope. I am strengthening your faith. I am preparing your perception to recognize the blessing when it manifests. Because some people receive something new, but they continue to see with old eyes. They receive a new door, but they carry the mentality of the old season. That is why I work first on the inside. I'm changing the way you see it. I am teaching your soul to realize that the end of a phase does not mean the end of its history. You think you are leaving something behind, but I tell you, you are entering a new stage. Every tree goes through different seasons. There is a time when the leaves fall. There is a time when the branches seem empty, but life is still present in the roots. I see your roots. I see that which was strengthened during the periods when no one noticed their struggle. I see the prayers you have prayed silently. I see the times when you chose to continue, even without understanding. None of this was lost. Every moment has prepared you for this new dawn. The new house that I prepare for you represents more than an external change. It represents a new season, a new understanding, and a reminder that I was present at every step. You may not yet see the whole landscape, but I already see the full path. What comes next may be the exact signal you asked for. I saved it for this moment. Stay with me. My son, many times you have allowed what happened to you to define the way you saw yourself. You looked at losses, rejections, difficulties, and moments of pain and began to believe that these experiences diminished your value. But I tell you, what happened to you never had the authority to erase what I put inside you. You think that some situations have taken away your strength, but I tell you, some situations have revealed a strength that was hidden within your soul. You think that wounds are signs of failure, but I tell you, many wounds are marks of a journey that you have overcome. I know every battle you faced when no one was looking. I know the days when you had to smile on the outside while carrying weight on the inside. I know the times when your faith seemed small, yet you chose to keep going. I didn't waste any of your tears. I didn't ignore any difficult moment. I didn't let a night pass when your heart searched for answers. Each experience was used to reveal parts of you that had yet to be discovered. You think that pain has only taken things out of your life, but I tell you, some pains have also left hidden gifts. They taught you to value, to understand, to have compassion, and to depend more on my presence. Look at a tree during the winter. To those who observe only the exterior, it seems that it has lost its beauty. The leaves disappear. The branches look empty. The scenery seems lifeless. But I keep working on the roots. The tree is not dead because it is without leaves. She is preparing for a new season. So it is with you. There are periods when you look at your life and think that nothing is flourishing. You look at your dreams and it seems that everything has become distant. You look at your journey and think you've lost what you had. But I tell you, I am deepening your roots. I'm strengthening your structure. I am preparing a new time that will not be sustained only by appearance, but by a deeper faith. My word says, "He who goes out walking and weeping while he sows will return with joy, bringing his sheaves with him." Psalm 126:6. The seed planted with tears still carries life. The cry of one station does not prevent the joy of another. You think you have lost parts of your history, but I tell you, I am restoring parts of you that no one has been able to see. I am restoring your confidence. I am restoring your hope. I'm restoring the vision you had about who you are, because your identity has never been in the things you own, the places you've been, or the opinions you've received. Your identity has always been in me. The new house that I prepare will not just be a different place to live. It will be a reminder that you went through a difficult season and remained standing. It will be a proof that what you have tried to diminish has not been able to destroy that which I have built within you. And as I prepare new environments around you, I continue to reveal the truth about who you really are. My son, there are times when I allow you to remain away from people's eyes. There are seasons when no one notices your efforts, no one knows your inner struggles, and no one understands what is going on inside your heart. But I tell you, to be hidden does not mean to be forgotten. You think that when no one sees, nothing important is happening. But I tell you, many of the greatest constructions begin away from the eyes.
The secret is a place of formation. It is in silence that I strengthen your roots. It is in the hidden that I prepare your structure. It is far from applause that I teach your soul to depend on me. You think the hidden place is a punishment, but I tell you, it is often a protection. Because what grows too fast without depth cannot stay when the winds arrive.
I don't just want to take you to a new place. I want to strengthen you to stay when you get there. Look at David. Before he was recognized as king, he was in the field tending sheep. To human eyes, that place seemed too small to carry a great destiny. But I was observing that which nobody saw. While he tended the sheep, I formed his heart. While he was away from men, I prepared his courage. While he seemed forgotten, I already knew the purpose I had put into him. Look at Joseph. He was in a prison, but prison wasn't the end of his story. The place where he seemed to have been forgotten was the same place where I was preparing his next phase. Look at Moses. He spent years in the desert, far from the position he had in Egypt. But that desert was not empty. It was a place where his identity was being transformed. You think the time away from people's eyes is wasted time, but I tell you, the time of the secret is where I often build that which will be revealed. My word declares, for God is not unrighteous, so as to forget your work and the work of love which you have shown toward his name. Hebrews 6:10. I see what no one sees. I know what no one knows. I remember what many have forgotten. You think your effort has gone unnoticed. But I tell you, every silent prayer, every renunciation, and every moment you have chosen to continue is before my eyes. Don't think that, because no one applauded, it had no value. Don't think that because no one recognized it, it wasn't important. The seed grows in the dark before it appears. The roots strengthen hidden before bearing great fruit. The time of the secret is not an empty time. It is a time where your soul learns dependence, maturity, and confidence. I am using this season to prepare you for that which your eyes have not yet reached. There is something in your heart that you have not yet given me completely. Write in the comments what you're uploading. It could be a word, a request, a name. My son, I know that many times you have tried to understand every detail of the path. You tried to organize events, find answers, and find out why some things happened in a different way than you imagine. You looked at unexpected changes and asked, why did this happen to me? You looked at doors that didn't open and tried to understand why. You looked at situations that got out of your control and felt afraid that your story was taking a wrong turn. But I tell you, there are details that only make sense when you look back. What seems confusing today may reveal tomorrow a protection that you cannot yet see. A small change in the path may be preserving a great purpose. A door that hasn't opened may be preventing you from entering a place that wouldn't match what I'm forming. You think some things happen by chance, but I tell you there are invisible movements happening around you. There are meetings that have been prepared. There are paths that have been diverted. There are situations that I have allowed because I know what you do not yet know. You see only the present moment, but I see the whole story. You see a piece of the puzzle, but I see the final picture. You see a difficult page, but I know the whole book. My word says, we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. I didn't say that all things would be easy. I didn't say that all paths would be simple. I said that all things could be transformed by my hands. You think that a difficult situation has destroyed a part of your history, but I tell you, I am able to use even that which has tried to hurt you to strengthen your walk. You think that a loss has closed a chapter, but I tell you, some losses have made room for a new construction. You think a difficulty has stopped your steps, but I tell you many times I was redirecting your paths. I am an expert at turning broken paths into roads on purpose. I take what seemed meaningless and reveal a greater meaning. I take moments of pain and turn them into places of learning. I take difficult experiences and use them to form a stronger, more aware and closer person to me. Look at Joseph. His brothers thought they were wrapping up his story when they sold him. That situation seemed like a great injustice, but I was driving every detail for a purpose they couldn't see. What seemed like a fall was a preparation. What seemed to be abandonment was a hidden direction. What seemed like the end was just a change of path. I also do so with you. I keep guiding details that you don't even notice. I keep working in places where your hands can't reach. I keep driving your story even
when you feel like you've lost control. Because when you surrender your life to me, what seems disorganized to your eyes remains perfectly known to my hands. My son, you imagine a new house as a physical place, with walls, doors, and a different address.
You think about the spaces, the comfort, and the change that your eyes will be able to behold. But I tell you, the house that I prepare represents something much deeper than what your hands can touch. A house represents belonging.
It represents rest. It represents a place where your soul finds security. For a long time, you have sought security in external things. You believed that when you had a certain achievement, when you reached a certain place, or when you received what you had hoped for, then you would finally feel complete peace. But I tell you, true security is not born only from what is around you. It is born from what I build within you. You think, when I have what I want, I'll finally rest. But I tell you, I am teaching you to rest before the promise is manifested. Because if your peace depends only on circumstances, any change can take away your tranquility. But when your soul finds rest in me, you discover a security that no scenario can steal. I'm changing your perception of home. You think home is just a place where your body rests, but I tell you, home is also the place where your heart finds acceptance, love, and presence. I want you to understand that before I prepare a house around you, I am preparing a place within you where my presence can dwell deeply. My word says, my people shall dwell in a dwelling place of peace, in secure dwellings and in quiet places of rest. Isaiah 32:18. I know the desire that exists within you to have a place where you can breathe peacefully. I know the dream of opening a door and feeling that there is finally a space prepared for your story. But I also know an even deeper need. The need to know that you belong. You think you need to find a place to feel complete. But I tell you, when your soul finds its place in me, you begin to see everything else with a new perspective. The house I prepare will not be just a roof over your head. It will be a reminder of care. It will be a brand of restoration. It will be a memory that I have accompanied every step up to this moment. You will look at that place and you will not only see walls, you will see nights of prayer, times of waiting, tears turned into hope, and a story led by my hands. Because a home is not built only with materials. A home is built with purpose. I am preparing an environment where your family can find peace, a place where new memories will be born, a place where your story will continue to be written. But before I put you in a new environment, I keep revealing that the greatest place of rest begins when your heart understands that it is safe in me. You were reached because you were chosen. Write in the comments, God has chosen me, and live that truth every day. My son, you look at the results that appear before your eyes and think that you have not grown. You measure your journey by the visible achievements, the answers you have received, and the changes you have been able to perceive. But I tell you, I don't just look at what appears. I look at what sustains. You measure your life by the fruits you have not yet seen, but I observe the roots that are being strengthened. A tree does not reveal its roots to those who pass by it. No one sees the depth that exists under the earth, but it is precisely what is hidden that keeps the tree firm when the winds come and the storms appear. So it is with you. You think that nothing happened because no one saw your struggle, but I tell you, the hidden moments were moments of construction. The prayers you offered in silence were not forgotten. The tears that fell when no one was near were not ignored. The times you chose to continue even without understanding were seeds planted in the invisible. You think you were just surviving, but I tell you, I was strengthening your structure. I was deepening his faith. I was creating within you a firmness that does not depend only on circumstances. Because I don't just want to deliver a blessing to you, I want to form a person who is able to stand firm when the blessing comes. You think you need only an external change, but I tell you, before the new season, I am taking new roots.
A tree with shallow roots can grow quickly,
but it doesn't stay when strong winds appear. Therefore, often the most important growth happens away from the eyes. I'm working on the invisible. I am strengthening your soul. I'm bringing stability to areas that were previously dominated by fear. My word declares that ye may be rooted and grounded in love and may comprehend the breadth and the length and the height
and the depth. Ephesians 3:17-18. I'm putting down deep roots in you. I am teaching your heart to stand firm in my love. You think your waiting was a wasted time, but I tell you, it was a time when your foundation was strengthened. You think no one has noticed your walk, but I tell you, I have seen every step. I saw when you continued, even tired. I saw when he chose to trust, even without answers. I saw when his faith seemed small, yet it remained lit like a small flame in the middle of the night. That flame has not been extinguished. I took care of her. Now you're stronger than you think. Perhaps you still don't realize why you are looking up for fruits, while I am working downwards, strengthening roots. But the time will come when what was built in secret will be revealed. And you will understand that the silence was not empty. It was growth. It was preparation. It was my hand, strengthening you to sustain a new phase. Maybe you've been waiting for an answer for a long time, and this message has been chosen by me to reveal something profound to you. Stay. My son, some doors closed before you, and in that moment your heart felt as if a part of your story had been interrupted. You looked at that opportunity that didn't happen, that path that didn't continue, and you thought that maybe you had lost what was meant for you. But I tell you, a closed door does not mean a promise canceled. You think that was your only chance, but I tell you, there are ways that your eyes have not yet known. You see only the door that was before you, but I see all the possibilities that lie beyond it. You see what you have lost, but I see what I have preserved. You feel the absence of an opportunity, but I know the ways that are being prepared. Sometimes I close a door because that place did not carry what you needed to live. Sometimes I stop a path because it would take you to a lower environment than the purpose I have placed upon your life. You think you missed an opportunity, but I tell you, I have preserved your destiny. You think something has been taken out of your hands, but I tell you, I was protecting your hands to receive that which is really part of your walk. Look at a road. When you're inside it, you may not understand why a direction has changed or why a path had to be abandoned. But the one who knows the entire journey knows which curves to avoid, which paths to follow, and which direction leads to the right destination. I also do so with you. You see only the moment. I see the full story. You see a closed door. I see a protection. You see a wait. I see a preparation. My word says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. I know paths that your eyes have not yet seen. I know doors that you haven't found yet. I know answers that have not yet reached your hands. But before revealing new paths, I'm also teaching you to trust me when the old path disappears. Because true faith is not born only when everything is open. Faith also grows when you stand firm before a closed door, knowing that I am still present. You think that a closed door has diminished your possibilities, but I tell you, a door that I close never limits what I can do. I'm able to create paths where you didn't imagine. I am able to open passages where there seemed to be no way out. I am able to turn a detour into direction and a wait into preparation. The new house that I prepare for you is also linked to this truth. Perhaps some doors needed to remain closed because I was leading you to a place that better matches what I am forming. Don't just cry for what didn't happen. Notice also that which I hindered. Not every deliverance comes with the appearance of victory. Sometimes the care of my hands appears as a door that has not opened. This message has reached you, and it can reach other children of mine. By subscribing to this channel and liking this video, you help my word reach more hearts. My son, you have interpreted your waiting as punishment. You looked at the time passing and wondered why it took so long. You saw other people moving forward, and you began to imagine that I had forgotten what I had placed within your heart. But I tell you, not every waiting time is a fix. Many moments of waiting are times of formation. You think that delay means that I am denying you something. But I tell you, often waiting is the place where I prepare you to receive that which is being built. Because a promise received without preparation can become a burden. A blessing received without maturity can be misunderstood. A new environment without a new inner structure can carry old pains into a new phase. So as you look at the clock, I look at your transformation. You see days passing. I see roots growing. You see a door that hasn't opened yet. I see a person being strengthened to cross it. Look at the gold. Before revealing his purity, he passes through the fire. Fire does not exist to destroy gold, but to remove that which prevents its true beauty from appearing. So it is with you. Some difficult experiences did not come to end his faith. They came to reveal a deeper faith. You think the pressure tried to break you, but I tell you I was using this process to strengthen your structure. You think that the difficult times have diminished your strength, but I tell you they have revealed a resistance that you did not yet know you possessed. Look at a seed. Before breaking through the earth and appearing as a plant, it remains hidden. There is a period when it seems that nothing is happening, but within it there is life, there is movement, there is preparation. So I am also working on your story. You think you are hidden, but I tell you, you are being prepared. You think you are standing still, but I tell you, I am forming something in you which will be needed for the next season. My word declares, tribulation produces endurance, perseverance, experience, and experience, hope. Romans 3:4. I'm turning your waiting into growth. I am transforming moments of uncertainty into moments of strengthening. I'm turning what seemed like just a hard time into a school where your soul learns confidence. You're not being delayed. You are being matured. I know the right time. I know the weight of what I prepare. I know the capacity that needs to exist within you to sustain what is coming. The new house that I prepare is not just a different place to live. It represents a new phase of someone who has learned to trust, wait, and stand firm. Don't look at the process just for the pain it brought. Also look for the person who is being born within you as you cross this path, because often the greatest work I do is not only that which I give into your hands, but that which I build within your heart while you wait. My son, there are memories that still try to hold you back to what was left behind. There are moments in the past that your mind revisits, that try to convince your heart that what has happened is greater than what I am doing. You look at old mistakes. You look at decisions you'd like to change. You look at paths that didn't work out and think that your future needs to carry the weight of these stories. But I tell you, your past has no authority to define what I have prepared for you. I am God of new beginnings. I don't look at your history looking for reasons to abandon you. I look at your history revealing places where my grace can transform, restore, and renew. You think that what you have lost has taken away your ability to live something new. But I tell you, I am still working in areas that you believed were closed. You think that your flaws are marks that will never fade. But I tell you, I am able to turn scars into testimonies. I don't erase your history as if it never existed. I transform your story to reveal that pain didn't have the final word. Look at a page written in ink. For those who look at only a part, some words may seem meaningless. Some lines may seem confusing. But the author knows the next chapter and knows how every detail will be used to form a complete story. I also do so with you. You think your final page has already been written. But I tell you, there are still chapters that you don't know. There are still moments that your soul has not imagined. There are still doors that your eyes have not seen. My word says, do not remember the former things, nor consider the old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it will come forth into the light. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:18-19. I'm doing something new. I'm already bringing a new insight into your own life. I am already touching thoughts that for a long time have been dominated by fear. I'm already showing that you don't have to keep living stuck in the old versions of yourself. You think that is what has happened to you, but I tell you, you are that which I am forming in you. You think that losses define your worth, but I tell you, your worth has never been in the things that have fallen by the wayside. You think that some closed doors have prevented your future, but I tell you,
I keep writing paths that you do not yet know. The new house that I prepare for you also represents this. It represents a new phase. It represents an opportunity to look back and realize that the past was not a prison, but a part of the journey that brought you to this moment. I'm restoring your sight. I am renewing your hope. I am teaching your soul to look forward without fear, because when I write a new chapter, I don't just start a new page.
I start a new way of looking at my own history. Few get to this point in the message, my son. But you arrived, and that's no accident. What follows was reserved for those who persevered. My son, you look for great signs to make sure that I am acting.
You wait for something extraordinary, something that your eyes can immediately contemplate, and when it doesn't, you start to think that nothing is changing. But I tell you, many times you don't notice miracles because you are looking only for that which is great. You look at the end result and forget to observe the small movements that reveal my performance. Dawn does not begin when the sun appears completely on the horizon. Before that, there is a silent change in the sky.
The darkness begins to lose strength. The first colors emerge. The environment begins to transform even before everyone notices it. So it is with your life. You think nothing is happening because you haven't seen the conclusion yet. But I tell you, the process is also a miracle. Every thought renewed, each fear that begins to lose strength, every moment you choose to trust again, every little change within your soul, all of this reveals that I am already working. You think that the miracle will be only when the door opens, but I tell you, the miracle is also happening as I prepare you to pass through it. You think that transformation begins when something changes around you, but I tell you, many changes begin, first in the invisible. Before a tree produces fruit, there is a period when its roots grow. Before a house is raised, there is a foundation being prepared. Before a promise manifests, there is a building going on in the heart of the one who will receive. I'm working on the details. I'm touching areas that you can't measure. I am strengthening your faith in the places where there was once insecurity. I am teaching you to recognize my presence, not only in the big happenings, but also in the small signs of care that appear every day. My word declares, for we live by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. I want to teach your soul to see beyond appearance, because when you look only with your natural eyes, you may think that everything is the same. But when you look with faith, you begin to realize that there are movements happening beneath the surface. You think a small change is not important, but I tell you, big forests start with small seeds. You think that a small answer is not enough, but I tell you, small signs can reveal that a new time has already begun. I don't just work on the moments that draw attention. I also work on the quiet details. I am present at the door that opens. I am present at the door that closes. I am present on the path that changes. I am present in the heart that learns to trust. The new house that I prepare for you also starts in this way. Before it appears as a reality before your eyes, it is already being formed through a sequence of details that often seem too small to be noticed. Learn to perceive my hand. Learn to recognize my voice. Learn to see that the invisible also carries life. Because what you can't see yet doesn't mean it's not happening. My son, perhaps you have reached a point where you have looked at your walk and thought that your strength has reached its limit. Perhaps you felt that there was no more energy to continue, that some battles were too long, and that what you experienced represented the end of your story. But I tell you, the place where you think you've come to an end can be exactly the place where a new season begins. You think it's over because you can't see the next chapter. But I tell you, the absence of an answer doesn't mean the absence of a purpose. Some seeds need to look buried before they reveal the life they carry. Some nights need to feel long before the first signs of dawn appear. Some seasons need to finish for new ports to be revealed. Winter does not remain forever. It passes, and when it passes, the landscape begins to reveal colors that were hidden. So, I'm doing with you. You think you have lost strength, but I tell you, I was renewing your structure. You think you have reached the limit, but I tell you, I was preparing you to go through a new phase. You think that everything has become more difficult because it was going wrong, but I tell you, some changes happen just before a transformation.
I know the times when you cried without anyone noticing. I know the times when you had to keep going, even without understanding how you could do it.
I know the questions that have been stored inside your heart, but I also know the strength that I have put within you. You didn't get here alone. Each day you overcame was proof that my hand was sustaining you. Every morning you woke up even tired was a demonstration that there was still purpose. My word declares, old things are passed away. Behold,
All things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. I'm not just ending a phase. I'm revealing a new way of walking, a new way of seeing, a new awareness of what I have prepared. You think you are missing something because a season is ending,
but I tell you, some things need to come out in order for others to find space. A tree does not carry its old leaves forever. There is a time when they fall, not because the tree has died, but because a new phase is coming. So it is with you. Some pain is being left behind, some fears are losing strength, some old thoughts are being replaced by the truth that I am placing within your heart. The new house that I prepare for you also represents this transition. It represents moving from a survival mindset to a hopeful mindset. It means looking at your history and understanding that each stage had a purpose. You're not coming to the end. You are entering a new season, and while an old door closes, I am already preparing the way for what comes after. If this message is confirming what you already felt in your head, write in the comments. I trust in God's action. My child, you look at your reality and look for immediate signs of what I'm doing. You want to see a clear change, a visible answer, a confirmation that your eyes can reach. And when you still don't see it, your heart starts to question if something is really going on. But I tell you, the greatest transformations have never begun before human eyes. Many of the most profound works I do begin in silence. While you were crying, I strengthened your soul. While you waited, I rearranged paths. While you believed that everything was still, I moved what no one could see. You think you're waiting for a change, but I tell you, the change has already started, long before you know it. You look at the earth and think that nothing is happening, but underneath it, there is a seed breaking barriers, taking root and receiving strength to grow. So is your life. You see only the surface. I see the depths. You see what hasn't arrived yet. I see what is already being prepared. Behold the dawn, my son. Before the first ray of sunlight appears on the horizon, something has already begun to change. The sky changes first.
The colors begin to emerge. The darkness begins to lose space. Creation begins to respond to the arrival of light before your eyes perceive the new day. This is what happened to you. Before the change fully appears, I'm already working out the details. I'm already touching areas that needed restoration. I'm already removing thoughts that kept you stuck in the past. I am already closing cycles that insisted on preventing its growth. I'm already preparing environments and paths that your eyes still can't identify. You think that transformation begins when everything changes around you. But I tell you, many times transformation begins when something changes within. A new house first starts as an intention before it becomes a construction. A new phase begins first as a seed before it becomes a reality. A new history begins first in the invisible before it is revealed before men. My word declares,
For the Lord thy God goeth with thee. He will not leave you, nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. I have never interrupted my work. I never abandoned what I started. I never lost track of the details of your hike. You still see only a part of the scenery, but I see the complete work. You see a page, but I see the whole book. You see a difficult time, but I see the restoration that is being brought about through it. You think you need proof to trust, but I tell you, trust is born when you recognize my presence even before manifestation. I am already holding what you still expect to receive. I am already preparing what you still hope to find. I'm already working in places where your hands can't touch. Trust the invisible process. Trust in what I am building while your eyes await revelation. My son, there have been times when you have walked without understanding why some directions have disappeared before you. There have been phases when you have looked around and felt as if you were trying to find a way out on your own.
not knowing which path to choose or what decision to make. But I tell you, no step of yours has happened without my presence.
You think you were walking without direction, but I tell you, I was guiding your steps, even when you didn't realize it. Long before you reached the crossroads of life, I already knew every path. Before you faced certain situations, I was already working on the details that your eyes could not yet reach. You think you're looking for a way out, but I tell you, I have already prepared the way ahead of you. There are obstacles that you have never seen, because my hand was already working before your arrival.
There are dangers that you have never been aware of because my protection reached you before they appeared. How many doors have I closed to protect your story? How many paths have I prevented because I knew consequences that you did not know? How many encounters have I pushed away because I knew what your heart could not yet perceive? You may never know all the times my mercy has been silently present around you, but I know. I saw every detail. I knew every possibility. I followed every move. My word says, the Lord is the one who goes before you. He will be with you. Deuteronomy 31:8. I don't just walk behind you watching your steps. I'll go ahead. I prepare it beforehand. I open paths before. I set direction before you understand. You think you are walking to an unknown place, but I tell you, you are walking to a place where my presence has already come before you. I already know the house you haven't seen yet. I already know the door you haven't opened yet. I already know the station you haven't reached yet. As you pray for direction, I am already working on the ground where your next steps will take place. As you ask for an answer, I'm already aligning circumstances. As you seek confirmation, I am already strengthening your heart to recognize that which comes from me. You think you need to control every detail to be safe, but I tell you, true safety is born when you understand that I know ways that your eyes cannot see. A child holds his father's hand without knowing the whole road. She doesn't need to know every turn, every distance, or every detail of the course. She only trusts the one who is leading. So I also want to teach your soul. Do not allow that which you do not understand to rob you of the peace of that which I am already leading. The new house that I prepare for you is also part of a path that I have been building even before you realize it. Each stage had a purpose. Each deviation carried a care. Each wait brought preparation. You're not lost. You are being guided by hands that know the full way. My son, you often look back on the moments when you felt fear, and you believe that those moments reveal weak faith. You remember the difficult nights, the doubts that went through your mind, and the times you wondered if you could keep going. But I tell you, you are looking only at the storms while I am looking at the roots that grew during them. You think it has remained the same, but I tell you, you are no longer the person who started this journey. There is a transformation happening within you. You may not realize it because you are used to looking at what is still missing, but I see that which has already been built. I see a trust that didn't exist before. I see a maturity that was born from the processes. I see a strength that was formed in the days when you thought you couldn't stand up. The roots have grown. His soul was strengthened. Their dependence on me has increased. You think difficulties have only brought weariness, but I tell you, they have also brought depth. A tree that never faces winds may look strong, but its roots have not yet been tested. It is during storms that its roots deepen to find firmness. So, it happened to you. Each difficult moment taught his heart to stay. Each weight has taught your soul to trust. Each tear shed in silence was a seed watered by his perseverance. My word declares, blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, and whose trust is the Lord. For he will be like a tree, planted by the waters, which spreads its roots to the brook and does not fear when the heat comes. Jeremiah 17:7. I have already strengthened that which will sustain your next season. You think you are still trying to find strength, but I tell you, many of the forces you seek have already been built up within you. You bear weights that would once have made you give up. You see hope where before you only saw fear. You find peace in places where anxiety once existed. This did not happen by chance. I was working. You think you were just surviving. But I tell you,
I was maturing your identity. I was teaching you not to rely solely on what your eyes can see. I was showing that your security is not only in changing circumstances, but in my presence that remains. The new house that I prepare for you will also find a different person from the one who started this journey. I don't want to just hand a key into your hands. I want to deliver a new understanding into your heart, because a new phase requires a new vision. You need to understand that you're not coming to the next chapter as someone defeated along the way. You are coming in as someone who has been strengthened by it. The marks you carry are not just reminders of the battles. They are also testimonies that you have crossed places where you thought you could not pass. I know every root that grew in the secret. I know every part of you that was restored while no one noticed. And that which I have formed within you will be revealed at the right time. In the next few minutes, my son, I will show you something that can be a direct sign from me for your life. Don't leave now. My son, you continue to expect change to happen only when something external appears before your eyes. You believe that the new phase will begin only when the door opens, when the key is in your hands, or when that which you hope for finally becomes visible. But I tell you, the new season has already begun. It didn't just start when circumstances changed. It started when I touched your way of seeing. It started when you decided to trust even without understanding all the details. It started when you chose to stand your ground while the silence seemed too long. You think you're waiting for a transformation. But I tell you, you are already living a transformation. The outer will only reveal that which I have already built in the invisible. Before a tree shows new fruit, there is a change happening within it. Before a flower appears, there is a silent preparation going on at the root. Before dawn is seen, the night has already begun to lose its strength. So it is with you. You look at that which has not yet arrived and think that nothing has changed, but I look at that which has already been transformed within your heart. I see old thoughts that have lost strength. I see fears that no longer control you as they once did. I see wounds that have begun to heal. I see a faith that has matured through the processes. My word says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. I am making new all things within you. Notice how many old things no longer rule your life. There was a time when a closed door took away your peace. But today, you can trust that I continue to lead. There was a time when a difficulty seemed like the end, but today you can see that even the challenges carried learning. There was a time when you felt lost, but today, your soul recognizes that my presence has always been with you. You think that change needs to start outside so that you have hope, but I tell you, I put hope within you before changing the scenery around. I am forming a person capable of recognizing the blessing when it comes, because receiving something new without a new vision can make someone not realize the value of what they have received. That is why I work first on the root. I strengthen the base first. I transform the heart first. The new house that I prepare for you represents a new season, but that season has already begun within you. It began in the prayers you said. It started in the tears you delivered. It started with the times you chose to trust even without immediate answers. You've crossed places that once seemed impossible. You've won internal battles that you thought you couldn't overcome. You've already left behind old versions of yourself. Your eyes are still learning to recognize that which your soul has already begun to experience. The new season isn't just coming. It was born inside you. My son, there is something that I need to reveal deeply to your heart. For a long time, you believed that the greatest moment in your history would be when what you hoped for would finally reach your hands. You imagined the key, the open door, the new place, and the change that your eyes could behold. But I tell you, the greatest miracle was not only that which I prepared for you to receive. The greatest miracle was that which I built within you while you waited. You think that the blessing is only that which comes, but I tell you, transformation is also a blessing. You think that the answer is only at the end of the road, but I tell you, I was present every step of the way. If I had surrendered everything before, perhaps you would never have known the depth of trust that was born within you. Perhaps you had never discovered a force that was hidden. You may never have realized that you could stand your ground even when circumstances didn't change. It was during the walk that his faith matured. It was during the silence that his sensitivity increased. It was during the waiting that your soul learned to depend less on what your eyes see and more on what I am. You think that the hard days only delayed your arrival, but I tell you they were preparing you to recognize the value of what was to come, because a person who receives something without understanding the process can easily forget the source of what he has received. But a person who goes through the journey understands that each step carried my presence. My word declares, we know that tribulation produces endurance, perseverance, experience, and experience, hope. Romans 5:3-4. I used difficult times to strengthen areas that were fragile. I used the wait to build patience. I used the unanswered questions to deepen his confidence. I used the days when you felt small to show that your strength never depended on you alone. You think you've wasted time waiting, but I tell you, you have gained depth. You think you've gone through a meaningless phase, but I tell you, each stage carried a seed of growth. The promise remains important. The new house continues to represent a new phase. The open door remains a manifestation of my care, but there is something even bigger. The person you became as you walked up to her. Because now you will not only receive an external change, you will carry a new vision, you will carry a new maturity, you will carry a faith that has been tested and has endured. I wasn't just preparing a place for you to live. I was preparing you to inhabit this place with gratitude, wisdom, and peace. The biggest construction didn't just happen around you. The greatest construction happened within his soul. And when you look back, you will understand that the miracle began long before the door opened. It started the day I started transforming you. My son, the human heart often imagines that the answer is born only when it appears before the eyes. You believe that the moment of manifestation is the beginning of everything, but I tell you, many answers begin to be built long before they are perceived. Before a door opens, there is a path being prepared. Before a seed appears on the surface of the earth, there is a life being formed in the secret. Before dawn reveals the sun, the sky has already begun to change silently. So it is with what I am doing in your life. You think you're still waiting, but I tell you, you are finding that which I have already set in motion. You look at the passing of time and think that nothing is happening, but I see movements that you still cannot understand. I see details being lined up. I see paths being adjusted. I see circumstances being prepared. Nothing is out of my reach. Nothing has escaped my hands. You think that distance means absence, but I tell you, many times that which seems distant is just going through the process necessary to reach you. Look at a tree. You don't see your roots grow every day, but that doesn't mean they've stopped growing. There is a silent construction going on underground. So is his journey. There are answers that are being formed as you learn to trust. There are doors that are being prepared as I strengthen your heart to walk through them. My word says, "For the vision is yet to be fulfilled at the appointed time. But if it tarries, wait for it will surely come. It will not tarry." Habakkuk 2:3. I know the right time. I know the moment when what I have prepared will find the maturity I have built within you. You think that waiting means that something has been forgotten, but I tell you, I have not forgotten any prayer. I didn't ignore any requests. I didn't let any tears pass. I know every detail that you have given to me. You think you are waiting for an answer, but I tell you while you wait, I am also working in you so that you can receive with wisdom that which comes. Because a blessing in the hands of someone unprepared can be just a passing thing, but a blessing received by someone transformed becomes a reminder of my faithfulness. The new house that I prepare for you is not just related to a physical place. It represents a confirmation that each stage had a purpose. It represents a reminder that silence was not abandonment. It represents proof that time has not erased my promise. You may not yet see the whole construction, but I already see the complete work. You may not yet understand all the details, but I already know the result. Keep trusting, keep walking, keep believing that what I start I also hold. At the end of this message, you will feel my presence in a way that you may never have felt before. Stay with me until the end. My son, many times the place where you thought about giving up,
was exactly the place where a new understanding began to be born within you. You looked at that moment and called it the end, called it the limit, called it impossibility. But I tell you, that which you have called the limit, I have called the transition. You thought you couldn't go on, but I was strengthening that which still needed to stand. You thought your strength was gone, but I tell you, many times you have reached the point where your own strength needed to diminish in order for you to realize the strength that comes from me. There's a time when an old way of seeing needs to be left behind. There's a time when old thoughts need to give way for a new vision to be born. Just as dawn seems darker, just before dawn, there are phases when your walk seems more difficult, just before a change in perception. The darkness of dawn does not mean that the sun has disappeared. It just means that the dawn is approaching, so it is with you. You look back at the last moments of a difficult season and think that everything has become heavier, but I tell you, maybe you are closer to change than you think. I was using that period to reveal things that you wouldn't notice in easy times. I was showing areas of your heart that needed to be strengthened. I was teaching his soul to trust, not only when everything is clear, but also when the path seems hidden. My word declares, the mercies of the Lord are the cause of our not being consumed, for his mercies have no end. New are every morning, great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22-23. Each morning reveals that my faithfulness never ended during the night. Each new day is a proof that I continue to sustain your story. You think you've come to an end because you've encountered a greater difficulty than you expected. But I tell you, you have come to the point where your old vision has begun to be transformed. You're not just coming out of a phase. You are leaving behind an old way of interpreting your own life. You are learning to look at difficulties, not just as obstacles, but as places where I reveal my presence. The new house that I prepare for you also represents this change of vision. Because before I change the environment around you, I change the way you see the way. A person with a new vision can recognize opportunities that previously seemed invisible. A person with a mature faith can walk through doors that once seemed impossible. You have not reached the end, you have reached the threshold of a new revelation. The place where you thought of stopping was the place where I started to show you something deeper. And as you go through this passage, I go on, revealing that no night is eternal when I am preparing the dawn. If this video came at the right time for you, write in the comments, I believe, Lord, and declare that you're ready for this new phase. My child, before you contemplate any achievement, I need to remind your heart of a truth that can never be forgotten. The greatest security you can find is not in something your hands hold, but in a presence that never abandons you. No wall can replace what I build within your soul. No address can offer the peace that is born when you know that I am with you. No conquest can take the place that belongs to me alone. You think you'll find rest only when everything changes, but I tell you, it is my presence that has sustained you this far. It was my hand that held you in the days when your own strength seemed to disappear. It was my voice that reached your heart on the nights you thought you couldn't go on. You may have hoped for a new home, an open door, or a change around you. But first of all, I was preparing a place within you where my presence could remain. My word says, in my Father's house are many mansions. John 14:2. Long before I prepared a home for you on earth, I prepared a place where your soul could always rest in me. I want you to understand this now, my son, because you are coming to a change of season. You are closer than you think. The longest waiting period often happens before a big reveal. The seed remains hidden longer before breaking through the earth. Dawn seems darker just before the first signs of dawn. But darkness did not win. The process did not end quietly. There is something that is already approaching. You think that nothing has happened because you have not yet held on to what you expect. But I tell you, there are things that have already been prepared before they reach your hands. You think delay means distance, but I tell you often delay is the last stage of a deep preparation. I know the right time. I know the heart you have today and the heart I formed during this walk. I wasn't just preparing a blessing for you, I was preparing you to recognize her value. Because the biggest change will not only be entering a new environment, the biggest change will be realizing that you were never abandoned as you walked to it. I was present when you cried. I was present when you waited. I was present when you almost gave up. And now I tell you, do not allow the fatigue of the last part of the journey to make you forget everything you have already gone through. Often when someone is closer to an answer, the urge to stop seems greater. But I am strengthening you at this time. I am renewing your hope. I am reminding your soul that the longest wait can precede the deepest manifestation. The home you hope for may represent a change all around, but my presence has always been the true home that has sustained you in every way. My son, today you can see only small fragments of your journey. You look back at some moments, some decisions, some tears, and some achievements, trying to understand how all of these parts connect, but I see the whole story. I see the beginning. I see the way. I see what is yet to be revealed. I knew his tears before they fell. I knew your battles before you faced each of them. I knew his victories before his eyes could behold them. I knew the house you would dream of before you even imagined its existence. You think it all started when you said that.
Prayer. But I tell you, my love for you has always come before your request. Before his voice cried out, my heart already knew his need. Before you looked for an answer, I was already working on your story. My word declares, before I formed thee in the womb, I knew thee, and before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you. Jeremiah 1:5. Nothing in your life was a surprise to me. No tears were invisible, no battle was unknown, no difficult phase has been able to erase that which I have placed within you. You think it's the result of your mistakes, but I tell you, you are the expression of my creation. You think your downfalls define who you are, but I tell you I don't call you for your falls. I call you by your name. I don't look at you like the world does. The world may remember your failures, but I see the purpose I have put into your life. The world may point out its limitations, but I know the strength that I have formed within you. The world may look at its scars and see marks of defeat, but I see testimonies of survival. You are not the end product of your difficult moments. You are not the sum of the words that hurt you. You are not defined by the doors that have closed. You belong to me. I know your true identity. Before anyone said anything about you, I already knew who you would be. Before any circumstance attempted to diminish your worth, I had already established that which exists within your soul. You think you need to prove your worth to be accepted. But I tell you, your worth has never depended on people's approval. I already know you completely. I know your thoughts, I know your struggles, I know your hidden hopes, and even though I know everything, I keep calling you close. Because my view of you does not change according to your phases. I don't just love the strong version of you. I also reached out to you in moments of weakness. I was there when you didn't understand your own way. I was present when you questioned your ability to continue. I was there when you thought you had missed important parts of your story. But I was restoring his identity. I was reminding your soul of a truth that has never changed. You are my child, and that which I have laid down about you remains because no phase, no loss, and no past has the power to erase that which I have written from the beginning. My son, if you have come this far, I want to thank you for staying until the end of this message. I know that your journey has had difficult moments, but you have chosen to continue listening to my voice and receiving this word into your heart. There is a spiritual blessing for those who persevere to the end, because I honor those who stand firm even when they cannot immediately see all that I am doing. My son, nothing was lost during this journey. Every tear that has fallen, every prayer made in silence, and every moment that you have decided to trust have been parts of an invisible construct that I have accomplished within you. The new house that I prepare represents much more than open walls and doors. It represents a new season, a new realization, and a reminder that my hand has been leading you at all times. Today, I want you to look at your story with different eyes. Don't just look at the difficulties you faced. See also the strength that was born within you. See the faith that has matured, the hope that has remained alight, and the identity that I have restored during the process. You are not defined by what you have lost or by the doors that have closed. I have already restored your sight and am leading you to a phase where your faith will be strengthened even more. Receive this word as a confirmation that I continue to care for you.
I want you to enjoy this video, share this message with someone who needs to hear hope, and subscribe to this channel to continue walking with me in new revelations of faith. Your gesture can take this word to another heart that is in need of strength and renewal. I bless your life, your family, and your paths. May my peace remain upon you, and may your home be a place of love, rest, and divine presence. Remember that I have never abandoned you and will never stop caring for your story.
I want you to carry this assurance in your heart. The time of waiting has not nullified my promise. It has only prepared you to acknowledge it with gratitude. Walk with hope, because I continue to open paths and strengthen your faith. Do not allow old doubts to steal the joy of the new phase that is before you. I am present in every detail, and my goodness remains over your life.
Keep seeking my presence and keep your trust alive, because I keep leading your steps with love and care every day of life. Allow God to continue speaking to your heart. Take the next step in this journey by watching the next video that will appear here on the screen. In it, we will continue to learn how to live in God's presence and experience the fullness of His plans. Don't stop here, because God still has much more to speak to you. Always remember, God is greater, and His presence is our strength. Trust Him, and He will do infinitely more than you can imagine. May God bless your life, and see you in the next video.